Okay, so the great idea I had last night was to build a homemade planetarium. Well, that was a little bit harder than I thought. However, I did get it to work finally. Luckily, I had a piece of equipment that probably most people aren't going to have at home, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to replicate it at home, but I think it'll still be fun for them to be part of it here today. Um, so anyway, my first thing that I'd looked up was to take a cylinder like this. It's just an old lemonade container, and to cut a hole in there for your flashlight to fit through, and then cut little. See how you can see the holes through there? Those are actually constellations. That's Pegasus, and then you're supposed to place that on top of here with your flashlight inside there. And then you cut the lid out, except you leave this little ring around here. And then you just put that on there. It does fit, trust me. I'm just having a hard time holding the camera. Anyway, there we go. So it fits on there. And then you're supposed to turn your flashlight on. Well, the problem is with these LED flashlights, if you can see in there, you see how they have the 4 little different lamps in there? Well, those 4 little lamps come out through the holes, so you get multiple spots of light because it's dispersing each one of those little, and this one's even worse. See, it has all those little tiny lights in there, and it really distorts the image. So you really have to use a single element bulb for it, which I didn't have because we don't own flashlights like that anymore. Then I remembered I have a projector downstairs that we don't really use anymore that has a single element light bulb in it. So we'll go downstairs. Hopefully you'll be able to see how it looks in the dark. It takes a little, anyway, you'll see. But here we go. I always have these really, really grandiose ideas, and sometimes they're a little bit harder than you think they might be. Anyway, here we are in my lovely garage. This was another attempt that I had made with this big work light of mine, and then I had cut a box. I had put reflective tape in there, but same story. All those little bulbs in there, each come out as a separate piece of light. It was kind of actually going into a whole nother lesson plan. When we had the eclipse a couple years ago, when the eclipse was filtered through the leaves on the tree, it would disperse all those separate reflections onto the sidewalk below you, and you would actually see little crescent moons all over the sidewalk. So it was kind of the same principle. So I guess if you ever got into a physics lesson about light and properties of light, that might be kind of a cool one. So I kind of stumbled across that by accident. But anyway, so what I did is I fired up the old projector, and I'm going to shut the lights off and see if you can see. What do we have here? We have Pegasus. So I'm still using that little opening. I'm just going to put it over the light of the projector. And here we go. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. Sorry this video is really long, but... And there is Pegasus. Pretty cool. I'm going to have them draw that on their whiteboards. And then I have pictures of the constellations that I have on my screen that I'll share with them. And then I want them to try and match up the picture that they drew with the picture on my shared screen. Now some of these you might have to kind of flip the piece of cardboard around because sometimes they're inverted on the wall, so they might look a little different. But I think I have that figured out. You just flip it over to the other side, and then you get the right image there. So yeah, I'm going to mess with it a little bit more today because I think it's a neat idea, and see if I can figure out how to get the flashlight idea to work. But I really think you're going to have a single element light that's bright enough to shine that up on the wall. Otherwise, those little LED lights just disperse everything, and then you don't get a proper image. So there it is. I hope this video wasn't too long for you. So anyway, take care.